Hello and welcome to the Rising Star podcast, brought to you by blackmint.io. I'm your host, Sharika McEwen.
And Ayobami Ayodeji.
And we're your hosts for today.
And as you all know, this show is for students or recent graduates looking to be inspired by professionals who look just like you, making it big in the tech industry.
So we want to really inspire all of you guys to pursue a career in technology so that together we can create a more diverse and inclusive tech industry. Because, after all, as you guys all know especially, diverse teams build better products.
And as always, we've got the blueprint for you right here. So today, we've got a very special guest by the name of Anny-Aysel Ineza. Annie will probably be the youngest person on our podcast for some time, and she has been very impactful in the Blackmint team. We believe her unique experience will be especially inspiring for you.
Annie graduated from Ryerson University with a degree in financial mathematics in 2019. During her university career, she started her tech journey by actually self-teaching herself Python and applying her newly developed skills through a group she co-founded at Ryerson called the Ryerson Algorithm Trading Group. She since then landed an internship at the Ontario Ministry of Health in their Health Data Center team, where she worked to further policies through data analytics. Her next opportunity was with the TD Wealth Advanced Analytics team, a data science team centered around working on machine learning solutions to better serve TD customers while growing the TD Wealth segment of the bank. Following her studies, she later joined TD as a full-time employee in their Data Science and Analytics Associate Program, where she was placed in the Business Banking and Analytics and Insights team serving Canadian businesses. She has since been promoted and continues to work there in a senior position. Welcome, Annie.
Without any further ado, I give you Annie.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Just got off of work, and I'm super excited to be here.
Look at her working hard. She's still at the office, guys.
Truly putting in the work.
All right, Annie. So let's get right into things. So Annie, not only myself and Ayo, but the audience wants to know more about you. So, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself. Such as your upbringing, maybe your early life, right up until you started university. Let's start there. Sounds good?
Sounds good. Okay, let's get into it. So I was born in what was back then the capital of Burundi, and that's a little small country in East Africa. And when I was about 8 years old, we moved to Toronto with my family. So it was me, my three siblings, and my father and mother. And then 2 years later, we moved to Oak Ridges. I did my grade 6 through secondary school at a school that was roughly maybe 300 students in Aurora. And after I completed the International Baccalaureate, I decided to stay a little closer to home, and I decided to go to Ryerson University for financial mathematics.
Very interesting, Annie. And so out of curiosity, what made you choose financial mathematics at Ryerson University? What attracted you to Ryerson, and also what made you want to pursue a degree in financial mathematics?
So I had a really good teacher in high school and secondary school for mathematics, and it was probably like one of two Black professors at our school, like in secondary school. And I think, I don't know, his passion kind of just resonated with me, and I really enjoyed the subject. And when I was looking at different programs to go into, I looked at something that focuses into mathematics, and that was either financial mathematics because I wanted something more applied, or something like actuarial sciences, but I wasn't really attracted to kind of the insurance side of mathematics, so I decided to go to financial mathematics. And back then, there weren't many schools who were offering the program, and I was also looking to stay closer to home. So Ryerson being in the urban, city, very buzzing, and it was completely different from my little small town upbringing kind of thing. So I decided to give the big city a chance, and it was great. It was right close to, the financial district and everything like that. So I got a lot of experience networking, and
I love
So-
that, Annie. And so, one thing you guys may not know about Annie is that she's actually francophone. So, you went to a French high school, Annie. Can you tell us a little bit about how being bilingual impacted your life?
Yep. Yeah, I did do my schooling in French all through my life until I was in university. But I
Awesome.
was fluent in English, but I didn't learn the technical concepts in English. So, for example, I was in Calc, and the professor was talking about cubic root, and I was like, "What's cubic root?" Because I've just never like heard about it, but it's such a simple term that everybody knows about. But I think knowing French or any other language that's not English, I think it gives you a certain scope that others would not be able to relate to. So I was able to create bonds with some stakeholders or business partners or colleagues during my career. And, here and there I get a request of like, "Hey, Annie, can you help me translate this report?" Because, there's a wider audience. So we touch things like people in Quebec and everything like that. So I don't know. I think being worldly and having an interest or experience in other languages or cultures is often overlooked.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Often overlooked, but very important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's awesome, Annie. And so, now that we know a little bit about your upbringing and early life, and why you chose Ryerson University and you being francophone, let's go a little bit into more of your education and some of your defining moments in your life and career. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right. So, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got into university and what your experience was like? And we already know how you decided to make the decision to go into financial mathematics, but tell us a little bit more about you transitioning into university, as well as the experience at university in downtown.
Yes, for sure. So I actually did commute for the first couple of years in university, and that was really rough.
I can relate.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, it took me sometimes like 2 hours to get to school from like during the winter time and etc. But of course, since I would say Ryerson is maybe not majority, but there is a huge presence of students who commute. So I think professors kind of knew. So if you're late, it was fine, kind of thing. But yeah, it was amazing just stepping out of your campus and then you see, the big city right there. So a lot of my experiences with networking, like there was always someone or something to do, someone to see, someone to talk to, and etc. And my experience through university, it was pretty good because I was actually part of the second graduating class for the program. So it was a brand new program.
That's awesome.
So that was really interesting because I'm pretty sure I was the first Black graduate of the program.
Wow.
So that was really interesting as well.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, so it was really interesting, and because it was brand new, we were almost like guinea pigs, but they also paid a lot of attention and they really valued our feedback. So that was really cool as well. And the classes were really small, towards after the first class of calculus, of course, it's hundreds of students, but then you get smaller and smaller. So it gave me a lot of face time with the professors. So it didn't feel like I was just a number. So when things came about where, I would need their references or I would need some kind of advice, we had a very personal relationship. So, first name basis kind of thing. And I just felt like there was a very strong community there for me. And it was what you made of it. So I made sure to get involved in student groups, student politics, working on even curriculum stuff. And yeah, all through university, it was really great experience to feel like such a big part of the department, and I helped co-found a few student groups, and that was really awesome. And then I finished I finished my university career with a thesis with one of my favorite professors, so that was awesome as well.
Wow, Annie, that's amazing. I would consider you definitely a pioneer since you were one of the first cohorts in your, degree of financial mathematics. And so I know you just previously touched upon you starting a bunch of extracurricular activities within your program as a whole. But can you tell us a little bit about your co-op experience at Ryerson University?
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned, since we were in the downtown core, we had so many opportunities to go to career fairs or anything like that. There was so many different companies or organizations who were constantly coming through either the career center or through the department or the faculty kind of coming in and saying, this is what we do, like, do you want to come and chat with us? So a lot of the opportunities that I was exposed to were through things like that. But my first internship was actually at the Ministry of Health, the Ontario Ministry of Health. And that was amazing. So, I think ever since I started as an intern, I was never treated as just an intern. So that was really cool. I got to have a lot of experiences, a lot of I even got to lead projects, which was really awesome, just kind of like a little second year student or third year student. And then after that, I went to a career fair from TD, and I met what would be my future hiring manager there. Yeah.
And so just a quick touch upon your co-op experience, Annie. What does it take for, a co-op student, maybe in their third, fourth year, just as a university student? What do you think it takes for them to actually become more engaged in their co-op and be seen more than just an intern, but actually as a contributing member of the team? What are some tips that you have for our audience about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think what happens is that a lot of people just kind of take what they are given and they just kind of stop there. But what distinguishes you is your drive and your initiative. So that could be, learning things on the side. Let's say you have this much to do and that's your portfolio. Okay. And then, you're interested in this, but you also want to do this, but then you're kind of but, haven't been assigned it. Nothing is stopping you from completing this and then going over to your colleague or even to another team and saying, hey, I would love to talk whenever you have time. And everybody is so, they receive it pretty well, they see you as a co-op and they want to make sure that you have the best experience and that they shape you well for the future. So that was what I would do most of the time. I would kind of complete my work and then make sure that I'm making enough time to go and talk to other people whose work I'm also interested in, or even express my desire to my manager and say, hey, I saw that this thing is there and that's really cool and I would love to do that. If you would allow it or anything like that. So I think that people should get out of their comfort zone. And I know it can be a little scary or you can be a little nervous about it, but I promise you everybody, it will be well received. And that's what will actually kind of put you on top,
I love that, Annie, and I think that's great and really good foundational advice for our audience, especially because, number one, you act as a pioneer in your own undergraduate degree, but more importantly, when you went into the workforce throughout your internship, not only did you take what was given to you on your plate, you actually took the initiative to do more. So I love that, and from the sounds of it, everyone, Annie definitely did network in her internship. And that definitely led her to more opportunities in the future.
Yeah. It sure did, honestly, because after she completed her co-op and completed her undergrad degree, she actually got into the associate program at TD Bank, so the same bank where she had a co-op experience. So thanks to the networking and the good work that she did while she was an intern, she got to get into the interview process for the associate program, which is quite difficult to get into, especially for undergrad. But thanks to her co-op experience, she was actually able to get into it. So how about Annie? Do you mind telling our audience what that associate program experience was like?
Sure. So at TD, there's multiple associate programs, and I guess I got a little bit of exposure when there were different associates who were in my team at TD Wealth in Advanced Analytics. So I got to get a little kind of sense of what they were doing. And what it is essentially is that it's a development program and it's also a technical program. So they place you into a team within TD, into like an analytics focused team. They want to ensure that you're equipped and ready to move on to a full-time role at the end of the year-long program. So you are, as an associate, you are doing full-time. You have a full-time portfolio, so you have projects that you're even leading, and the development part of the program is that they want to make sure that you grow and that you attain your goals. So whether that be, you know, gaining more technical development or even developing into a managerial role within 3 years, let's say. So you have a lot of FaceTime with executives. You have so many events to go to. It's geared for you. It's geared to kind of develop you. So they are very, they receive what, sorry, it's geared to actually benefit you. So you define what development is to you. So is it like more FaceTime with executives, a side project that's not directly linked to your direct group? Is it, you know, more networking with other teams, etc.? So you get so many opportunities to actually within TD develop, and also outside of TD. So if you want to go to different conferences, you're kind of encouraged, right? So a lot of it is encouraged. It's not you constantly being like, hey, can I do this? It's them expecting you to actually do it. So it's quite prestigious of a program because it's very difficult to go into. So once you're there, they want to ensure that they're growing the talent and that they're keeping you. So they want to ensure that you're growing and that you're happy, right? So it was quite an amazing opportunity to be a part of the associate program because you're being exposed to the best technology that there is at TD. And yeah, just the fact of you saying even I'm an associate, people are automatically like, oh, okay, well, so tell me more. So it's a great even opener when you're talking to other people.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And that was a really good way to explain the program. I think it's definitely really beneficial, you know, especially right after school. It's
Exactly.
yeah. So you guys, if you're listening, try to get into a co-op program because that could actually, you know, lead to an associate program, which is basically a full-time position.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's
But
great.
not just
So
that. Also, you get to meet great people. Fun fact, guys,
Yeah.
we all met through our associate
Yeah.
program
yeah,
orientation.
actually, all three of us,
Yes,
yeah, we met,
exactly.
yeah, we met on
Yeah.
orientation day. So
So it's not only, you know, the career part, but also, you know, the networking and also creating like genuine ties and bonds with
exactly.
other people. So yeah, it's multifaceted and it's great.
Exactly, and it does give you the opportunity to try multiple different things as well.
Yeah.
You know, because after the associate program, you can probably stay with the same team, or you can, you know, go work in a different team. So depending on, you know, perhaps if you networked with another team that you're actually interested in, you might actually get that opportunity to go work there after you're done with your program.
Exactly.
Yeah, which actually brings me to my next question. So you completed the associate program. Can you tell us what happened after and some of the exciting projects that you're working on in your current role?
Sure. So I started with business banking last year as an associate, and I got promoted within my team and decided to stay. So my year
That's
ended.
amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, she got promoted within a year.
That's 1 year, guys. 12 months. Right.
Yeah,
12
12
months.
months, 12 months of graduating from her undergrad program. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was quite an achievement, and I'm very grateful for everybody who was part of it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I finished in July officially. But as we all know, in mid-March, COVID-19 kind of forced us all to lock down, and we all went to work from home. And
Yeah.
around then, the government announced that it would be beginning a relief program for Canadian businesses. So we're talking about any businesses like retail companies that you see at the mall, manufacturing companies, convenience stores, etc., etc. And the way that this works is that any business can go to the bank, any business that actually meets the criteria, to any bank that they're already banking with, so RBC, TD, BMO, etc., and ask for the government role. For this to happen, TD created a COVID-19 task force, and I was placed on the task force in March, as I was directly in the business banking group, and I was given that opportunity, and it was amazing to be part of that. To pull this off, the task force had to create the full infrastructure. So we're talking about from the website that businesses actually go and apply, to who gets the money, how they get the money, who makes, how they make the repayments, how this is all linked to the infrastructure, to the government, and from the government, and so on. I was placed on it as the lead developer / analytics lead, point of contact for one of the relief teams, and it has been nothing short of just super exciting. Especially for me, who is fairly new to the team, to be given such a task has been really great, and a testament to, I guess, the trust that I've built with my executive team and my senior managers. So I'm super grateful for the experience, and I love knowing that the project I'm working with is having a positive impact on the Canadian businesses and the economy, and kind of seeing that like the economy mirrored in the data that I see every day.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing. Actually helping businesses, helping businesses get through the whole COVID situation.
Exactly.
Getting that relief that they need, and actually in a timely manner, right? Because
exactly.
That's amazing. That's great experience, guys.
It's really interesting because you'll see kind of Trudeau announce something, and then like in the same time my team is like, okay, he announced it, so everybody, be on standby or ready. And it's been really cool.
Yeah, how cool is that? That's
like,
really
it's kind
cool.
of like having government work, but not really. Like
Yeah.
it's been really interesting, and it's kind of like once in, I don't know, not a lifetime, because I don't know if there's going to be another pandemic, but
Hopefully not.
yeah, exactly. So I'll say a lifetime, just
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so also I just wanted to point out as well, like you guys, just hearing Annie explain her experience on her new team, this is also an example of, how you can pivot when things quickly change, really suddenly. So again, Annie, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good point.
All right. So Annie, now that we're talking about, your new role in business banking and some of the amazing projects that you've been working on, can you tell us a little bit about some of the skills required to be a data scientist like you? I would call you a data scientist.
Yeah, for sure. And data science is a big field. It encompasses so many sub-roles and tasks, depending on which industry you are, which team you're in, etc. So there's, anything from forecasting to visualization to predictive analysis to modeling, machine learning tools, etc. And there are, of course, tools that are widely used in the field, and those are the ones that, are must know. So programming languages like Python, for example, and knowing how to use them and the machine learning packages within them, and not only how, but also when, depending on the problem that you have at hand. And before you even get there, you need to acquire your data, and a lot of teams use SQL, and that's spelled SQL, which is where you store your data and where you pull from. And experience with that is extremely useful. Now, after that, I would say it depends on your team. Sometimes to present your findings, your insights from your model, from your analysis, there's tools like Tableau, which is a go-to tool for my team especially, where, even if you have the coolest model ever, at the end of the day, if there's no business value that you're bringing, I don't know if that really matters anymore, right? And Tableau creates great dashboards, and by dashboards, I mean, kind of a group of graphs, and those can be like pie charts or, histograms, like I'm sure the audience kind of has experience with. And before you even start with those fancy models, you need great problem-solving skills. You need to know how to dissect a problem, and, after dissecting it, you also need to see the bigger picture in the same time. And that's a really crucial crucial skill to have. And apart from that, you need a great grasp of fundamental like mathematics understanding, and that could be the statistics, probability, linear algebra, calculus, and etc.
Wow, Annie, that's amazing. So, just to recap, it seems like just three big takeaways from being a data scientist. You have to know a lot of the data visualization tools, such as Tableau, as well as it's really important for you to be a great problem solver, but also it's also important for you to be able to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And so, now that we know a little bit more about what it takes to be a data scientist, let's go more into your affiliation with Black Mint, shall we? Since you're one of the founding members of Black Mint, can you please walk us through, what you do within the organization, as well as some of the exciting things that you're currently working on, or some of the things that are coming up very soon?
Sure. Yes, I've been very lucky enough to be part of this amazing group that has an amazing mission statement, and I'm sure it's going to be a great tool for the future generation in tech. So right now, I'm the events lead for Black Mint. So I work closely with the communications / social media / marketing lead. And we're there to kind of engage with our targeted audience and make sure that we're constantly bringing them the content that they need. So one event that I'm really excited about is our first event that's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be kind of a speaker series, where each event we bring through a new career, and you get to learn about the different tools and the life in a day of the or whoever employee that we bring in. So the first one will be software engineering, which encompasses so many different things, from building websites to building anything that you can imagine.
It's a jam-packed agenda, guys.
Exactly. So it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be interactive, and that's very important for students, I think, because it's one thing to kind of hear about it, but until you kind of get your hands dirty and you actually get to create something and see it through, I feel like that's way more impactful, and that's what we're really seeking to do. So I'm really excited about that.
Wow, Annie, I love what you just said and what you shared with our audience for the last 20 minutes. Annie just gave a lot of you guys the blueprint in terms of navigating your co-op, being a pioneer, making the most out of, your opportunities that are available to you. I love it, Annie.
Yeah, honestly, that has been really, really insightful. And I'm really glad that, we have you in the organization, and also really happy to have you on the episode. But still, right now, we're just going to transition to another section of the show, which we like to call our quick fire section. So the idea is we're going to ask you a series of questions, and we want you to give our audience, really short answers to them. So the first one is, have you had any mentors in your career? If so, what impact have they had in your life?
I guess I've never had a mentor per se. I believe that this individual that I will mention has acted as a mentor. I don't know if he knows it, but he's definitely had a huge impact, when I think about it. He was in my team when I worked at the Ministry of Health when I was an intern, and the daily touch points that I had with him, his name is Ron, it would give me true validation and encourage me to kind of raise my hand and to make my presence known in many rooms where I didn't necessarily fit in. Either, I was only woman, or I was only person of color, or I was only, or I was even the youngest person in the room, because I always strive to take a leadership role where I could. And during those times, I was, a little more quiet, or I would watch more than I would actually speak out. And his teachings kind of stuck with me, and I'm really glad that I worked on on that back then, because it's helped me navigate throughout my whole career. So
That's amazing.
if you see this, Ron, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, you should definitely send this episode to him. I'm sure he'll really love that shout out, you know?
Yeah.
My next question for you is, if you had a chance to speak to your younger self, you know, high school self, what would you say?
I would definitely tell her that she's doing great. You know, you're doing great, sweetie. Keep going through. It's going to be an uphill battle, but you've got this, you know? So
Yeah.
that's what I would say to myself.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
love that. I love that. So much perspective already, but it's true. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, Annie. So the next question we have for you is, what is the next step for Annie on your career journey?
It's really interesting to say career journey, since I feel like, you know, it just kind of started.
The ship just sailed.
Exactly. So
It's never too young, girl.
it feels like, you know, it's been like 3 years, but, you know, it's been maybe a year and a half since I officially started full time. But I'm definitely looking forward to developing my technical skills. I'm constantly seeking for opportunities within my group that will set me up for a successful career in analytics industry. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to connecting with more analytics-driven individuals.
I love it,
Awesome.
Annie. And without a doubt, I'm 1,000% sure you'll definitely exceed that goal.
Thank you, Sharif.
Guys, Annie is a pioneer. Just letting you guys know that, okay?
Literally, yeah.
Stop it.
All right, Annie. Next question we have for you. What is a book that you would recommend to our fabulous listeners, and why?
So I recently finished reading a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by the brilliant Daniel Kahneman. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but it dives into like a digestible analysis of why and how humans make certain choices in life. It challenges the belief that humans are rational in their thoughts and actions, and I think it's one of the best books that I've read in like the past, I don't know how many years. So I would definitely suggest it to anyone who's listening.
Yeah,
Very
that's a really
interesting.
good one.
All right. So, Annie, we're going to go on to our next question then with that said. So, Annie, what's an emerging trend in the technology space that you would like to share with our audience today?
So I've been following the trends within the payment industry and the technology that's coming through from there. I think with the advancements in mobile technology, exchanging money through person to person or person to business or any other transaction has seen some notable strides towards innovation. We are seeing a lot less dependency on cash as digital payment services are being widely adopted, and this is seen globally. For example, we saw the payments fintech giant Stripe acquire Nigeria-based company Paystack just last month, I believe, for about $200 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And companies are noticing that emerging markets, and in this case, in Africa, for example, are starting to lean towards a cashless transaction economy, and that there's a huge opportunity for investment there. And I think that we're going to see some really interesting things coming through soon.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I don't know if you guys know this, but Africa is actually has the highest rate of the birth rates right now in the world, and also Africa has the youngest average age in the population. So
No
there's going to be a lot of like really really big things coming out of Africa.
Exactly. I think people should really pay attention, and if you're interested in technology, then definitely don't leave Africa out. There's a lot of good talent and a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my next question is, if you had a chance to meet anyone in the tech space, who would it be?
That's a really tough question because there's so many great minds to even have a 5-minute conversation with.
And we understand it might change from time to time as well.
Exactly, right? So I feel like right now the name that's coming up, just because I've been paying attention to her, is this professor who is at Stanford University. She's a professor in computer science. She's a huge pioneer in artificial intelligence, not only as a woman but as a computer scientist. And exactly. So she's a huge, I think, inspiration for women and also any computer science enthusiasts or anyone who's paying attention to the field. She leads the Human-Centered AI Institute at Stanford, as well as their computer vision lab. And she's done amazing work with ImageNet, which is huge in the computer vision field. And yeah, I think anybody who's interested should check her out.
Sounds awesome. That's a really good choice, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is your favorite and least favorite technology product, and why?
I love this question.
I don't know about least favorite, but my favorite, I don't know if it's a bit cliche, but I think it's the wearable tech and the voice assistant technology. My Apple Watch has been my greatest purchase during quarantine. I use it absolutely every day while exercising, taking calls, chatting with Siri. And I think the second greatest comes right after is my Google Nest. And Google has hands down,
Annie. I knew it.
hands down the greatest voice assistant tech that there is on the market. And it's been a huge addition to my life. It saves me a lot of time and increases my efficiency. And yeah, I think I just gave these students holiday gift ideas. So
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
ask your parents about these. These are amazing technology, and especially with the voice assistant, if you really get into technology, you could even create a lot of like different customized features to Google Voice Assistant. So it's really cool to me.
That's actually really cool. Can you give an example of some of the productivity things that comes with that you've actually been able to get from the Google voice assistant?
Anything from "Hey Google, can you call this person?" to "Hey Google, can you pull this up? Hey Google, can you do this?" Absolutely everything.
Day-to-day.
Literally, just like it's like it's an assistant. Like it's having like a secretary plus all of this. They do a lot, and like I even tried out. Someone who I follow on social media created their own feature where you can hear like African proverbs and African kind of stories.
Very nice.
If you actually, maybe I'll put it into the description, but if you actually ask, "Hey Google,"
put it in the link below, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So if you ask Google, "Hey, tell me an African proverb," it actually comes up because he created it. So that's something to look out for as well, because anybody can do that, right?
That is amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So I've got one last question. You've shared a lot of wisdom on this episode, but I do want to know, if our audience were to take one skill or characteristics about yourself, away from this episode, what would it be?
I think one thing that I could attribute my success to is my curiosity. It's led me to become a lifelong learner. And I don't mean that only in the analytics field, but learning about the different other industries. I think that being a well-rounded individual is necessary to achieve a successful career. And also, curiosity leads you to understanding people, So emotional intelligence is, I think, crucial for great career navigation.
Yeah, that's great. That was really, really good, Annie. I think emotional intelligence is so crucial.
Yes.
It's definitely something everyone should strive to get better at, because that will probably help you more than just about anything else.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would actually echo Ayo's point to that as well, especially in the new economy that we're entering. Yes, we understand everyone does need to have technical skills, but it's the soft skills that really make you stand out.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. But honestly, Annie, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a great episode. I hope you guys are inspired. Annie just graduated last year, and look at what she's already doing. So,
Big moves.
this is your opportunity to learn from her. Take all these lessons, and because you guys can do pretty much follow in her footsteps, right? But yeah, thanks so much for coming. Anything you
Thank
want
you,
to
Annie.
share?
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to what Black Mint will do for the future generations. And
Yeah.
feel free to reach out to me as well, and I'll see some of you at the next event and
Awesome.
events to follow.
Yeah.
All
sounds
right, guys.
good.
So there you have it. Another lovely interview with our Black Mint podcast. Today we had Anny-Aysel Ineza join us today. Again, she is a co-founder of Black Mint nonprofit as a whole. And for the most part, we'll see you guys until next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much.